Hello, welcome to another nutrition video. I'm Zak Lyon, and I make these videos to help people understand food better so that they can make food choices that are in line with some of the health benefits that they're going after. If people are trying to sleep better, if people are trying to lose weight, have more energy, have more sexual energy, have a better digestive system, and or get rid of aches and pains that they've got and all kinds of things. I make these videos to help people who are trying to do those things because a lot can be done using just food and nutrition. And that's the good news because you get to eat, and things that are negative inside your body can be corrected just by the foods you eat. And we eat all day, every day anyway, so it kind of works out perfectly. So in this video, I wanted to talk about cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables have become popular these days. They've been a lot of research has been going into them for their health benefits over the last, I don't know, 10 years, let's say. I'm not really sure, but they are certainly growing in popularity among nutrition experts and medical doctors who are into food and diet. And there's some good reasons for these. And so I'm going to go through what cruciferous vegetables are, or just examples of them, really, because I'm no botanist. And then I'm going to go through, very briefly, some of the research that I've come across that demonstrates some of these theories, I'll call them, about the health benefits of cruciferous vegetables. And then I think that's going to be it. So let's get started. The cruciferous vegetables, I'm actually going to read something here. Cruciferous vegetables may play an important role in cancer prevention. These vegetables contain phytochemicals, which just mean phyto, meaning plant, chemicals, meaning chemicals. So these vegetables contain phytochemicals known as isothiocyanates. I don't know if I'm saying that right. These phytochemicals change the way estrogen is metabolized or broken down in the body. This in turn decreases the risk of hormone or estrogen-related cancers such as breast and uterine cancers. And as far as I know, included in that list should be thyroid as well. And a few others. So I'm going to continue here. Chopping or chewing cruciferous vegetables results in the formation of these bioactive products. Now that's an important point that I'm going to go into later. I'm going to go into more later in a different video. So I'm not going to talk about it now because honestly I don't know a ton about it. But the point here is that And this actually goes for things like the skin of beans. You have to chew those, and everybody knows that it goes for flax seeds. You have to chew these things for them to get their beneficial properties. And I don't know if it has something to do with the cell walls being broken down and or what when you're chopping or chewing. I know that has to do, that's an important thing for chlorella, which is why you can buy split cell or partially split cell chlorella. Otherwise, those cells aren't open to the digestion by humans. So anyway, I'm going to go into that in a later video because I need to figure out more about it and before I talk about it. So eating these vegetables, either raw or lightly sauteed or steamed, is the best way to retain the full array of nutrients. Cruciferous vegetables are also known as important sources of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Eating a serving of these vegetables daily, particularly broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts, can help lower disease risk. The following vegetables are included in the cruciferous family: arugula, bok choy, broccoli rabe, cauliflower, collard greens, kale, curly kale and dino kale, mustard greens, rutabaga, watercress, Brussels sprouts, broccolini, um, cabbage, Chinese cabbage or Napa cabbage, daikon, which is a type of radish, kohlrabi, radishes, and turnips. So that's a kind of it seems like a short list, but honestly, if you could eat a different, cruciferous vegetable every day of the week for 2 weeks and never repeat it. And so, I mean, and how much do you really, I ask my clients this a lot. I say, how much do you really vary in your diet? And sometimes when we look at it, we see people don't vary very much. And then they end up being okay with like, oh, I guess, I'm going to eat, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, and spinach, and then I'm going to repeat that cycle, and that's plenty of variation for me, and boom. So those are some good examples, and again, Brussels sprouts are so delicious. I've got a good recipe for Brussels sprouts on my blog. You basically just chop them really fine. You chop like half of them really fine, and then the other half a little bit larger, and you just cook it in grass-fed salted butter and let it brown just barely, and then take it off and salt it a little, and there's like nothing better. Yeah, and I've got I think I've got a few good kale recipes on my blog as well at zaklyon.com. And so let's talk about some of the things that cruciferous vegetables are purported to help in the human body. Like was mentioned above, cancer's all over the body. Tumors, and it's positively beneficial for sex hormones, estrogen being the main one, and certain estrogen metabolites like estradiol and some things like that. Cruciferous vegetables appear to be kind of modulators of sex hormones like estrogen and their metabolites, and so this is good. I don't know how to pronounce this, but glucosinolates and their hydrolysis products. Not something I know anything about, but I've got a link here from a good journal about cruciferous vegetables and human cancer risk, epidemiological evidence and mechanistic basis. Next here is the thyroid, the estrogen and thyroid hormone, and all the thyroid hormones. There's a few of them, and so this article here is about specifically 3,3 diindolyl methane, which is shortened to DIM, and it's a chemical that's found in cruciferous vegetables. And the title of this article is DIM modulates estrogen metabolism in patients with thyroid proliferative disease, a pilot study. So this pilot study appeared to show beneficial effects of dietary cruciferous vegetables on people's thyroid. Okay. This so I've got a list here, which if you really want to start digging, you can Google a lot of these different compounds, but there's just all these different natural indoles that appear in cruciferous vegetables that have been identified and are believed to exhibit health benefiting effects. This next article is about apoptosis and protecting DNA damage. I think I've got a quote here. It is shown that DIM ICZ, SUL, and BITC, each of these natural indoles, can each stimulate apoptosis in human colon cells, in human colon cancer cells. And apoptosis is cell death, and so apoptosis, let's say, is where a cancer cell is programmed to die. It's programmed to kill itself. And that's exactly what we want to do with cancer cells, is just have them kill themselves. That's great. The title of this article is Dietary Indoles and Isothiocyanates that are generated from cruciferous vegetables can both stimulate apoptosis and confer protection against DNA damage in human colon cell lines. This title brought up, it made me think of something. I think I actually remember that DIM is actually a, well, some of these compounds that are associated with cruciferous vegetables are actually generated in the body after the consumption of cruciferous vegetables, and are actually not themselves found in cruciferous vegetables. And I think DIM is one of them, but not terribly important, kind of a detail. This last one is titled Estrogen Metabolism and Risk of Breast Cancer, a prospective study of the 16-alpha-hydroxyestrone ratio in pre-menopausal and postmenopausal women. 16-alpha-hydroxylated estrone metabolites are biologically strong estrogens, and these are shown to be disruptive to normal human body processing and existence. And what this article goes into is how, well, I'll have to double check, but I think this article goes into how these estrogen metabolites are, well, no, I guess this one is, I think this one gets referenced a lot for cruciferous vegetable compound studies that are looking at these cruciferous vegetable compounds and their effect on, let's say, estrogen metabolism. But this is a good article showing this 16-alpha-hydroxylated estrogen metabolites being disruptive to the human body, and that I think as other studies show that cruciferous vegetables have particularly strong effects on 16-alpha-hydroxyestrone. So that's the whole thing. That's all I got. This is why you should be eating cruciferous vegetables. They are powerful vegetables. They're just plants, and they're powerful. You don't want to get cancer. Not saying you won't, but if you eat cruciferous vegetables, there is a strong chance, if not a certainty, that you are doing something positive for your health. If you ask me, it's pretty clear that these vegetables are quite beneficial to our health, and I wouldn't be crazy to think that. But if you try and tell someone to eat cruciferous vegetables and it'll prevent cancer, you get like a, really? But how much does it prevent cancer? Well, I don't know. If you eat cruciferous vegetables, let's say 2 times, 3 times a week for 5 years, that's a lot of cruciferous vegetables. That's a lot of exposure to these beneficial compounds. And cancer is going to have a hard time surviving in environments like that. And there's a lot else you can do too. But for that, I would talk to an oncologist. So anyway, thanks for watching. And some of these next videos are going to go into a lot of other cool topics, but I always try and keep them basic. And the basic point here is eat more cruciferous vegetables. And that's it. That's the whole point here of the video. Hope I didn't provide too much detail, unwanted detail. And yeah, till the next one. See ya.